Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my top 10 hardest JRPGs on the PlayStation 1. As usual, I'm not gonna cover only in Japan titles, only games that were released outside Japan, specifically in North America. With that clarified, these are the hardest JRPGs that I have ever played on the PlayStation. Alright, let's begin! Number 10. Beyond the Beyond. I never actually considered this game as a terrible game, but I did find it extremely boring and tedious. It was made by the same people who did Shining Force and Golden Sun, but I didn't know that back then. All I knew was that Beyond the Beyond was a turn-based RPG that I had never played. Well, I did and never got past this stupid-ass puzzle where you couldn't even backtrack because the game didn't let you. If you did, you would encounter a major boss battle designed to kick your ass immediately. Years later I went back to it, beat the puzzle and encountered the horrendous difficulty spikes all around. High encounter rate, no save points in dungeons, extremely tedious puzzles, and overall a gameplay that was just too damn boring and frustrating. This game is hard, yeah it is, but not for one or two aspects. Mix all I've said so far and you get a pretty solid idea as to why it's on this list. It may not be a grind fest or a game where your skills need to be mastered, but it sure is a huge pain in the ass that will make you rage quit for being so goddamn annoying. Number 9. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. Many are familiar with the PSP enhanced port of the game, which is also brutally hard by the way. This PS1 version is also a port from the original on the SNES that never came out of Japan, being also the father of Final Fantasy Tactics, a game that could very well be an honorable mention in this video for being quite hard as well. Its reputation has been heavily overshadowed by Square's Bastard Son, considering both games were technically made by key figures from the Ogre Battle Saga. But anyway, on to this PlayStation demon. Tactics Ogre is a strategy RPG played in an isometric view where your tactical prowess depends mostly on skills and levels. However, the grinding in this game is what makes it a nightmare experience to some people. Also, the RNG working whenever the hell it wants, making the characters, enemies or allies alike miss very often. Something that can be extremely infuriating at times. If you ever give this game a chance to compare the differences between it and the popular PSP port, let me know in the comments. I played both versions but never got any far since I just didn't like either. Number 8. Star Ocean: The Second Story. This Tri-Ace Devil just couldn't be left out of the list. It remains as one of the hardest action RPGs I've ever played in my life. Literally no other Star Ocean game comes even close, in my opinion, to its outstanding difficulty. Grinding is involved, sure, like in most RPGs, but the ability to execute your attacks and magics and plan your execution accordingly is what compels you to get better at this game, or else you'll be dying a lot by the unholy unbalance there is on certain boss battles, especially the damn guardians near the end of the game. Nonetheless, Tri-Ace is known for making difficult games, and this one just takes the cake in the entire Star Ocean series, but there's something charming about it that prevents me from getting mad at it. Sure, it made me rage quit several times, but I always came back to try again until I beat it. I absolutely love this game, and it's my favorite Star Ocean ever, but that doesn't mean I will ever forgive its ridiculous difficulty spikes that piss me off for days straight. Number 7. Vagrant Story. Now we're talking. Not an infamous RPG that's brutal for no reason, no sir. This unforgiving game will tear you to pieces if you don't know what to do. And even if you do, it's still really hard. It's an action RPG with a very unique battle system, similar to the one in Parasite Eve. It was written, produced, and directed by Yasumi Matsuno, same guy behind Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy Tactics. So yep, you can already tell why this game is on the list. There are no shops, no party members, no towns, just you, the long-ass dungeons, and your weapon creation system. The key to actually enjoying and beating this game is this system here, which allows you to have all your body equipped with something. Understanding these mechanics and applying them against your enemies, especially knowing what parts of their bodies you need to hit, is the road to success. Regardless, that very same road into mastering all these painful, intuitive features is a hard one. It's a very solid game, a forgotten jewel that people kind of forgot for reasons that might be related to its godforsaken difficulty. Number 6. Saga Frontier. I hate this game, but you all know that already. The reasons I do are heavily related to its gameplay mechanics and not exactly its difficulty. Since it's yet another giant grind fest, you get to choose between 7 different characters in a free roaming world that's sort of like an open world adventure where most of the time, no matter which character you choose, you hit a dead end at an early point of the game, unbeknownst or what to do or where to go. And even if you find out, with or without a guide, you'll soon enter into an endless cycle of leveling up your status. That's right, you don't level up the normal way, no, you level up your status. The game randomly decides when certain status of each characters will rise. It's not up to you, nor is it up to how much grinding you do, it's totally random. Add that, the difficulty spikes, with some monsters or some of the bosses, and you will die miserably in this open world wannabe atrocity. This game has a lot of fans out there, and I respect their opinion, but I just can't stand this game. I really wanted to like it. I really tried. I thought the concept was fantastic, but in the end, it turned out to be a complete disappointment and one of the hardest RPGs I've played on the PlayStation 1. Number 5. Hoshi Gommi, Ruining Blue Earth. Or like ruining your life. Here is another game that I absolutely despise. It's funny how some of the hardest RPGs on this system are amongst the ones I hate the most. Hoshi Gommi beat the crap out of me during the first mission, that's right. That was enough to make me rage quit and abandon the game for ages. I couldn't believe that even the first battle of the game was so goddamn atrocious. I later went back to it and somehow managed to get past it. Ask me how long I lasted in this horrible piece of shit. I'm a huge fan of strategy RPGs, huge, but there are some that I can't fathom, and Hoshi Gommi might be the worst of them all. I can't believe this game is so bad that it tried to be hard and accomplished only that because everything else is just terrible. You think Fire Emblem has bad RNG? Play this awful madness and you'll forgive every single time Fire Emblem pissed you off. Why do so many strategy RPGs need to be absolute grind fests? What's the point of leveling up over and over again just to beat the unbalanced idiocy the developers created? Isn't the point to strategize to beat these games, hence the name strategy RPGs? But anyway, Hoshi Gommi, a brutally hard RPG, and one that I truly despise. Number 4. Alondra. Finally a good game, again. Yep, this action RPG by Matrix Software, a spiritual successor to Landstalker on the Genesis. Both games play very similar on a top-down action-adventure mechanic, filled with puzzles and a simple hack-and-slash battle system. Alondra is a fantastic game with a very original story that includes entering people's dreams to solve their nightmares. And by solve, I mean enduring the brutally difficult puzzles that will drain your brain, your skill, and even your heart for being, well, the nightmares themselves. The action isn't that hard, but you'll be fighting monsters and bosses, especially bosses, when you're already exhausted from the horrible but highly addictive puzzles this game has to offer. Seriously, they are so unforgiving that you'll feel like a total idiot when you finally discover how to beat them. Like this part, for example. How was I supposed to know that you have to jump twice on these things to turn them off? Anybody will think that you'd have to just time your jumps across the fire to make it through, but no, you have to stand on them to solve the puzzle. This game just loves to grab your brain and shake it endlessly until you get either smarter or just plain stupid. Either way, it's a great RPG and a very fun adventure to endure. Number 3. Saga Frontier 2. I love how this game took everything wrong with its horrible predecessor and tossed it out the window. Yep, it's still a free exploration game with open world-like features, but much more solid and with the story focus way stronger than the first Saga Frontier. Regrettably, however, it became much harder. There are 2 characters to choose from at the beginning, and one of them, Gustav, might be the easier route, still being hard as hell though, but nothing compared to the other character, Will. Either way, you'll be spending 10,000 hours grinding, trying to get used to the awesome but cruel battle system, still with no normal leveling features, still with the life points dominating your fears, and forcing you to create strategies. In a good way, I mean. Yes, I think this is a good game, a million times better than its predecessor, but a million times harder in my opinion. There's just so much to explain about the battle and the exploration mechanics that I would need an entire video to do it. Just play it for yourself and enjoy the excruciating pain it will put you through. I just hope you enjoyed the ride like I did. Number 2. Shadow Tower. Meet one of the worst RPGs I've ever played this year. An obnoxious, forgettable From Software game that only its demented fans care about. This company is so infamously known for making brutalities in Mortal Kombat seem childish. So welcome to hell. Shadow Tower is not only one of the hardest RPGs ever made, but also a poorly designed interface that immediately renders the game unplayable. It's so bad, you will be falling asleep watching the enemies drain your health. Attacking them is a chore, especially when they're small and not of normal reach. Camera sucks, moving sucks, music sucks since there isn't any of it during most of the game. Everything sucks in this game! And its difficulty might just be the epitome of chaos. Some say this nightmare is the perfect representation of the term tedious. Some others say it's a fun game to play. Either way, you decide, but heed my warning, entirely subjective of course, that this game is hard. Very hard. Number 1. Kingsfield. A much better game is Kingsfield 2, its predecessor and From Software's first game ever. I say 2 because the first one was so hard, so damn hard, it was never released outside Japan. I have no idea why they took their chances with the second one and released it here merely as Kingsfield, confusing the heck out of people. But anyway, however you wish to call it, this From Software's nightmare is the hardest RPG I've ever played on the PlayStation. Nothing comes close to it, nothing. You just get thrown into this weird but also inviting place, there for you to explore freely as you wish. But getting started in this area with no explanation whatsoever might just be the hardest part of the game. I never got past this area, and trust me, I tried dozens of times. Why? Because there's something about this action RPG that draws you in, whether you like it or not, to keep playing it because you feel compelled to make some kind of progress. The music is also awesome, by the way, perfectly fitting the atmosphere of the game. But look at me. I can't even defeat a single enemy in this area. I don't even know if I'm actually doing some damage at all. I keep getting killed over and over and over again. I tried just passing through the enemies to find new areas and find some armor or something, but I got lost, mainly because I just can't stand playing on first person. This game isn't bad, it's just not my type of RPG at all. Well, all I know is that it's extremely hard. Worse than all the Soulsborne series this company is already famous for. I just realized that about 70% of the library of JRPGs on the PlayStation is hard as hell. That's right. So no proper honorable mentions in this video because I don't even know which one to choose. But if you want one or a couple that never came out of Japan, take the first Kingsfield for example. That would have been a hell of an honorable mention. But what about Tear Ring Saga? Made by the original creator of the Fire Emblem series. That's right, that game will drain your spirit, man. It will drain you. But it's a great game nonetheless. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time.